Hi guys, I'm just going to give it a little bit because I know there are going to be some people coming in that may have some questions. And I know it's been a little bit since I did my last live, but I wanted to do this particular live because I wanted to touch a few subjects, okay? And reason being is because I get so many different comments on my videos and from, a different array of people. Oh, Garcia, thank you, sweetheart. I get so many different comments from different people who clearly they don't understand narcissistic abuse. They don't understand, what it entails, and they tend to think that people are making things up or people are just, looking to find a way to just blame other people. And we're just going to talk about a few different things that I wanted to cover. I'm trying to make this where I can possibly do a live every week or at least every other week. So in case anyone has questions and you guys happen to be on, I'm here. You can talk to me and I'll try to answer your questions to the best of my ability. So the first thing is we're going to do the disclaimer. I'm not a medical professional. Okay. I do not give out medical advice. And I do not seek to replace anyone's medical treatments, whether it be, therapy, psychiatry, psychology, whatever the case may be. I am simply someone who knows abuse and has done her due diligence in not only understanding what she's gone through, but has also really studied because I am studying psychology. So, just so you guys know, okay? Number two, I'm not a relationship expert. I do not give out relationship advice because I'll be honest with you. If you tell me that the person you're dealing with treated you like crap and you treated them like a king or you treated them like a queen, I would tell you to just get rid of the loser. Okay? Whether they're male or female, get rid of the loser. So you might not want to come to me for any kind of relationship advice, but if there is abuse going on, I will definitely tell you to walk away. Walk away and just do not bother with them, okay? No matter what type of abuse it is. And what else? And to all you beautiful people, thank you for joining me. Thank you for being here with me. I'm looking down, guys, because I have it playing on my other phone because I'm blind and I don't want to have my face all up in the screen. Avocado, well, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. So, guys, I wanted to talk about a few things because I want to help you guys understand a few things, okay? Now, if you noticed in my recent videos, I did one about toxic attachments and how unhealed victims can also become abusive. We're going to talk about that. The reason I wanted to talk about that was because, I don't negate that a lot of you have endured abuse. I will never negate that. If you say it happened and, it's caused you a lot of pain, I would never take that away from you. Okay. And I know how hard it is to really strongly feel validated in your own way because you had been in relationships, whether it be romance, whether it be family, you had been in relationships where you were completely invalidated. I know that feeling. It's a very sucky feeling. So I would never take that away from you. But I do want people to understand something. Okay. One of the things that we have to understand is that not every single person, we come across is a narcissist or, is, diagnosed as one. You can come across people who are severely narcissistic, meaning they have the traits of a narcissist. They have a lot of the characteristics of a narcissist. Now, I normally tell people, unless, they really, really go and get the person or the person does get diagnosed, if they should ever decide to go to therapy, because we know they won't go to therapy because of course they don't think anything's wrong with them. Just bear in mind that it does not necessarily take an actual narcissist for you to endure narcissistic abuse. Okay? It does not take someone who suffers NPD for you to endure narcissistic abuse. You could have endured narcissistic abuse with someone who has narcissistic traits. You could have endured this type of abuse with also an unhealed victim. Believe that or not, guys, you could have endured that as well. And that generally means that Well, first of all, narcissists, they are byproducts. They're victims of narcissistic abuse. Okay? They are victims of narcissistic abuse. And generally that usually stems from their environment, their upbringing. Maybe one of their parents was a narc, or maybe both of their parents were. But they are also victims of abuse. However, they are the kinds of victims of abuse who relate with their abusers. Okay? So most people might think that, well, a narcissist would only create other narcissists. That's not true. Not true at all. A narcissist parent can create a narcissist, clearly, but they can also create another child that suffers from codependent issues, codependent trauma. Okay? This just really all depends upon how the person who is receiving the trauma, how they internalize that trauma. Narcissists, basically, they relate with the abuser and the abuser's tactics, their just the abuse in itself. They relate to, they relate with that person. A codependent pretty much relates with their afflictions. So when they say hurt people, right? I personally call bullshit on that. I'll let you guys know that right now, because I don't believe that to be true. And the reason I say that is because how many of us have been hurt? How many of us are broken? How many of us have been broken? And we would never inflict that kind of pain on other people, right? You wouldn't inflict that on anyone else, especially someone who didn't deserve it. And it just doesn't, it says a lot about you and your character. So that goes to show that if someone tells you, I'm broken, or if someone tells you that person's broken, and you got to understand, no, you don't have to understand anything. And I want you guys to understand that. You don't have to understand that that person was abused, because a lot of us have been in some way, shape, or form abused. Now, people correlate abuse with physical violence. Oh, well, they didn't put their hands on you. And that's actually what invalidates a lot of victims of narcissistic abuse. People think that because the abuse is not always physical, that it wasn't abuse. And that's nonsense, okay? Emotional abuse, psychological abuse, that is also abuse. In fact, utilizing manipulation is abuse, okay? It is abuse of power. Now, someone who utilizes manipulation is basically trying to control you, right? They're trying to create some kind of, a circumstance or an outcome to come out in their favor. And they are deceiving you. It's an abuse of deceit, okay? And I want you guys to understand that what you experienced, what you have gone through, even if it was not narcissistic abuse, okay? Even if it was just, it could have been verbal abuse. It could have been any other type of abuse that you've endured, and not necessarily narcissistic or sociopathic or psychopathic. Any kind of abuse you have endured, you have still, you still have every right to feel the way you feel. You have every right to come forward and speaking on it. And you have every right to set those boundaries, guys. You guys know how I feel about boundaries. They're very, very important. Make sure you set those concrete boundaries, okay? Now, just so, like I said, just so you know, if you dealt with a narcissist, if you dealt with someone who just, has narcissistic traits, narcissistic tendencies, or even if you dealt with someone who was a victim of narcissistic abuse and they never healed, they never did the work on themselves, and they just pretty much related to their abuser. Okay? You get what I'm saying? If you dealt with these types of people, regardless, stay away from them. Just stay away from them. Okay? It does not matter if they did not mean to do it. Well, I'm a victim of narcissistic abuse, and well, technically I didn't mean to do it. No, because everyone still makes choices. We all have free will. Okay? We all have free will. And unless someone is manipulating you, they are pretty much restricting you of your free will, and they're putting their will upon you. That's what a lot of them like to do to their victims. I'm sorry, guys. I want to make sure. CK, don't worry about it. It happens. Breaking no contact is not uncommon. Okay? It is not uncommon. It does happen. Breaking no contact is pretty much, you have your weak points because you still have to heal. And people think that healing is just like, oh, get over it. It happened. It was what it was. These are the kind of people who don't understand. They don't understand. They do not understand what it is that you have, you have truly, truly endured, because they have not seen, especially if you dealt with covert narcissists, they have not seen what goes on behind the scenes. Okay. So while you may appear to them as someone who can't get over it, someone who just can't let go. Oh, you've been holding on to it for so long. Why can't you just let it go? You're going through your grief process. It's like narcissistic abuse is what I mentioned in one of my comments before. It's psychological death, but it's psychological death to the victim. Okay. To the person who is receiving the abuse. That is not something that you can just get over overnight. That's not something you can get over overnight. Okay. No contact. I know, guys, no contact is so hard. I know it is. Trust me when I say that I know it is, because you're going through, after a narcissistic discard, you're going through what we are, if you're familiar with it, the 5 stages of grief. Okay. You're going through that. Now, when you're discarded, if you feel funny, by funny, I mean you feel weird, you feel energetically weird, you feel physically weird, you may feel sick to your stomach, you may feel fear, you feel anxiety, you feel all kinds of emotions. What you're going through, especially if that person stonewalled you, or these people, guys, it could be anyone, if they stonewalled you, if they gave you the silent treatment, if they, listen, we're going to be 100, because that's just how I am. They just tore your heart out and just threw it in the trash. Okay. You are going through withdrawals. You're going through withdrawals. If you're a smoker, or if you ever were a smoker, I used to be a smoker. I used to smoke cigarettes. I smoked it for 15 years. Okay. And when I tried to quit smoking cold turkey, I was going through withdrawals. My body was reacting because I was so accustomed to having that nicotine, having that smoke in my hand. My body was going through withdrawals. That is the same exact thing when you are going through a discard with a narcissist, with a narcissistic individual, with someone. All right. We're going to include this too, with someone who portrayed themselves to be one thing, but they were really something else. Okay. That is a withdrawal. And I wish I could say that it is not normal, but under this circumstance, it is. It is a normal effect. It is unnatural, but it is a normal effect when you are going through a discard, especially when the discard hits you like a ton of bricks, like it just came out of nowhere, just came, from left field. The withdrawals are pretty much your body is now, because you're having different types of emotions, anxiety and fear, and just lack of clarity. You have so much going on in your mind. You feel so afraid, and you just don't know what to do, guys. And I want to make this clear to you too. If anyone needs help in any way, shape, or form, even if it's not with me and you want to, speak to a professional, please go to my YouTube channel. You can go under any of my videos. There are numbers. I put the national hotline numbers under my videos for anyone who needs help. Definitely, if you're at that state, because I was at a very bad state when I had went through my discard, and it was very painful. It was very it's it's to describe it. Let's just say I was contemplating doing something that would have been very detrimental for my son, and thanking God every day that I did not do it. Thanking God every day that I managed to pick up those pieces. You guys can get through this. Trust me when I say you can get through it, okay? I don't care how much they made you believe that they were the best thing in the world for you. If they made you believe that you were beneath them, if they made you believe that, that you worship the ground that they walk on, or, if they try to, they just pulled all these really disgusting tactics out of their pockets. Keep this in mind. Everything that was done, everything that was said, with the hurtful words, If you're familiar with narcissistic rage, if you're familiar with, just the darkness of it all, had nothing to do with you, literally. And I know some people might say, oh, I hear that all the time. That's the reality of it. It had nothing to do with you. Okay. You noticed when you got into your relationship, you were, everything was fine. You were happy go lucky. You were sweet. You were high spirited. You were, enjoying life. And you happened to be with someone that you thought, oh, you know what, maybe this is the person I could spend the rest of my life with. And maybe, I can, have something with this person. We can have a future together. And it seemed great. But slowly over time, you started noticing, even though it was subconscious, you started noticing things about yourself that was changing. Everything was changing about yourself. Your attitude was changing. Your demeanors were changing. Your mood would change. And everything was just like, it seemed off. It seemed really, really off. You went from being this high-spirited, confident, sweet, loving, gentle person to this feeling useless, feeling just so beyond naked, stripped, beyond your skin. You just felt so stripped, and you felt so low and so belittled, and you just felt so much pain that you just like, it made you, you know what, and just let me know if you understand where I'm coming from with this. It made you feel like, I just, in a way, I don't deserve love. Like you kind of look up at the sky and you ask God and you say, hey, God, what have I done that I get this? Okay. And your self-worth it just felt so like decreased. Like you didn't mean anything. You could have been with this person for years. You could have been married to them, and keep in mind, guys, this isn't just about relationships. This could be in your family too. You could have, you could have been with these people for so long and you shown them the world. You would have given them the world on a silver platter. Okay. You would have given them the world on a silver platter, and all for them to turn around and just crush it. Like if you meant nothing, that measly little world that you're giving me on a silver platter. And people who go through the discard, when they see what the narcissist, what the individual went for in replacement of them, they're like, oh my gosh, like how the hell what are you doing? I want to explain something to you. When I talked about karma, I talked about the, narcissist. We'll just, for argument's sake, we'll just call them a narcissist, whether they have the traits or they just, narcissistic. When we talk about karma, we got to understand something. Okay. I've seen a lot of comments from people saying, well, no, they don't face their karma. They don't get what, they don't get it in return. They're living their life happily. And, how would you know that if you're not holding on to them? How would you know that if you have completely let them go? You got to understand, guys, when you have gone through everything, the best way to get even, and then this is what I've learned, and this is personally what I've learned, the best way to get even with them, okay, is to move on. But it's to do it in such a way that you show them, not only are you the bigger person, not only did they not break you, not only did they're superficial, they're superficial, hollow, soulless selves. Not only did they show themselves for who they are, but they've actually, you got to show them that though you have probably gone through this throughout your life by the people that you trusted most, because this is the case, guys. They've gone through this throughout their life by the people they trusted most, okay? And that's why they relate to these abusers. I'm not going to be like you. I'm not going to be like you. I'm not only going to be happy, but I know for a fact that you are so obsessive and you are always, because they always watch you guys. If you guys think, okay, and this is why I tell people, you need to be careful too. Because if you think they're not watching you, even though they're sitting online or they're doing all kinds of shit showing people, oh, I'm happy. We're in a new relationship. We're going to, Paris. We're going here. We're going there. We're doing all of this. Let me tell you something, okay? They're still keeping tabs on you. They're still keeping tabs on you. And if people don't believe me on that, wait until they try a Hoover. Because the only reason they hoover you or they try to hoover you back is because all of that they were doing, all that stupidity, all that nonsense was short-lived. It was short-lived because they know who they are. They know who they are. They know what they're capable of. They know that they cannot sustain emotions. They know that they can't fulfill themselves, let alone fulfill someone else. Okay? And everything that they did with you, they're doing with that next person. They're doing with that next person. And now if you were the best supply that they had, you were the most genuine, you were the sweetest, they keep tabs on you because they want to make sure that you have not moved on. They want to make sure that you're still stuck on them. If any of them have ever reached out to you, maybe they breadcrumbed you, maybe they, gave it some time and they decided to extend an olive branch and saying, hey, I know things didn't work out, but, hopefully one day we could still be friends and trying to be, let's just sweep it under the rug type of, that's because a narcissist already knows. They already know what they want from a person. They already know that they have no intention on staying settled down with that person. And they already know that once that time is up, they either need you, okay? They need you to keep that door cracked open for them, because once that time is up, they're going to try to come back to you. But if you keep that door shut and you say no, you just basically go your own way and you completely cut them off, then they're going to try to go for other supply. These people, when people say, well, they look like they're happy, they look like they're, they're completely they're completely in love and they're enamored with the new person. They don't know love. They don't know love. And everything they had done with you is going to happen with everybody else after you. Everything they had done with you happened to the people before you. Okay? It happened to the people before you. Whether they told you about their previous relationships or not, it happened to those people as well. This is how they get through life. This is how they get through life. But a lot of people tend to think, well, then they're not really facing their karma. They're not facing, listen, bad things cannot only happen to good people and not bad people. I'm going to say it again. Bad things can not only happen to good people and not happen to bad people. Okay? What happened to you was because you had a good heart. Okay? Let's say you spent your entire life without being a horrible person to people. And you just basically, you had a genuine heart. You're very empathetic. Maybe some of you are empaths, and you always had that caregiver type of personality. You always wanted to just take care of someone. You just wanted to be happy and be loved. What happened to you was not something that you deserved. That wasn't something that was part of your karma. It's pretty much you happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time. That's what it was. And it's because of the fact that you were at the wrong place at the wrong time. You met someone who happened to, I don't know, maybe they had an appeal to them. Maybe they had a certain kind of charisma because they're known to being very charismatic. But you ended up getting involved with someone who is so low vibrational, so low level, so they have so much self-loathing. They saw something in you, whatever that was. They saw something in you. They saw what they wanted to extract from you. And at the end of the day, they knew that it was not going to last. They knew that. You didn't know that. They knew that because they know that they're self-sabotagers. Okay? A relationship won't last with someone who is emotionally stunted. These types of people are emotionally stunted. They don't know how to sustain emotions. They don't know vulnerability. They don't know they don't know transparency. Okay? They don't know any of that. They're basically, some people could say, well, yeah, they already had an agenda when they got together with me. I guess it's safe to say that because they already know their capabilities. They know what they're about, and they know if they have patterns. We all know if we have patterns with something, right? Like, ladies, if you've had a pattern of dating really crappy men, whether they're narcs or not, but it's just like a pattern, and you sit there and ask yourself, what the hell am I doing wrong that I keep attracting these really crappy dudes? It's the same thing with them, except they're not questioning themselves. They know their patterns. They know what they're doing. And they've managed to get away with it because victims don't speak on it. This is why they continue doing it, because victims do not speak on it. Victims don't speak on the abuse. And it's because of the fact that the narcissist has already, they have, first and foremost, I'm going to tell you guys something. I'm going to make this very, very clear to you. Okay. Anyone who is friends with that person, who is family with that person, who is an affiliate with that person, should be no concern of yours. Okay. Should not be any concern of yours. So if they sat there telling their friends, telling their family, telling their affiliates, all kinds of bullshit about you, I don't give a shit. You guys ain't never do anything for me anyway. Okay? And make sure you stay with that attitude. If they go sitting there with their little flying monkeys, or they're sitting there telling people, oh, well, this is what Erica did, and Erica did this, and Erica did that. You really think I give a damn if you're telling people who are on your side, okay, who have already been on your side? You're telling people who have more than likely enabled your behaviors with people before I ever came into the picture. If you're telling these people stories about me, chances are they already know it's you, but because they don't want to get in the mix of your shit and they don't want to be a part of your whole, be a target for you, they're just going to be like, okay, yeah, sure, whatever. It doesn't matter. Whomever they tell, whatever they say, it does not matter. You know your truth. God knows your truth. And at the end of the day, what went down during the discard, what went down in your relationship, what happened, continue to stand in your truth. Your friends, your family, the people who are loyal to you are the ones who matter. Anybody else that is affiliated with that person does not matter. They should cease to exist when everything got taken down. Okay? So just keep that in mind. Garcia, just give me one moment, because there were just a few more things that I wanted to talk about. Just keep that in mind when, if or when you're seeing someone, or, hold on one second, guys. Oh, I don't know why don't I just leave the damn screen alone? I don't know why I keep touching it when I have the other phone here. But yeah, don't take to heart what they tell people, what they tell their friends, or if they sit there boasting or talking all kinds of nonsense. Don't take any of it to heart, because these people don't matter. They don't matter. They're always going to be on that person's side. Their loyalty is to that person. And that was the thing that I always said to myself. Whenever if I was in a relationship with someone, I don't expect people who know this person, who are related to this person, to be loyal to me. I don't expect that. These were their friends before you went into the picture. These are their family members before you ever entered the picture. So you know what? It's whatever, right? But at the end of the day, it's all about your people. Who's on your side? Who is supporting you? Who is there for you? Those are the people that you have to worry about. You don't need to worry about those other people on the other side. And another thing I wanted to talk about was triangulation. I know a lot of people heard about triangulation, but there are different ways they triangulate. Now, I did do a video on triangulation with the ex, when clearly that was specific. It's just basically specific to the ex. But triangulation is pretty much, you just, picture a triangle. The narcissist is on top. You have the victim on one side, and then you have the third party on the other side. Now, depending on the situation, triangulation is clearly used to pretty much, the general idea, it's to make the victim not only feel invalidated, but appear unstable in front of other people, regardless of whatever abuse is going on. You may have experienced triangulation in your relationship, meaning during the dynamic. Now, one example of triangulation in the relationship is when they mention other people being attracted to them. Okay, so if they come to you and they're like, oh, I don't know, Barbara from work, she was complimenting me on my, on my physique or whatever, or, John, he was complimenting me on my, my thick thighs or whatever the case may be. Okay. They do these things. That's triangulation, by the way. They do these things because they want to instill jealousy in you. Okay. They want you to react. They want you to feel a certain kind of way. They want you to acknowledge that other people are acknowledging them. Other people are, they're trying to kick it to them, or they're complimenting them. It's that ego boost. Okay. It's that ego boost. Another way they may do it in your relationship is that, well, what you won't do, another person will do. Okay. Now, me personally, I do not use that as ammunition. I do not use that as ammunition. If you have issues in your relationship and it's just not going anywhere, then you go your separate ways. You just have to. You have no choice, especially if you try to communicate your feelings, okay? But that whole, what you won't do, another man will do, or what you won't do, another woman will do, that's a subtle way when in the relationship, they'll, probably point out, oh, well, I went to McDonald's and, these girls were flirting with me and one of them gave me her number, or one of them tried to give me her number, or, these guys, how many guys want me? Like, look, they're all leering at me. And, it's that ego boost. It's to boost their ego. It's to instill fear in you, jealousy and fear in you. It's to instill that fear of losing them. Okay. It's to kind of keep you on your toes. It's to make you feel like, well, if you don't comply with me, if you don't stay pretty much on my schedule, on my agenda, on what I have, what I got going on here in this relationship, there are plenty of other people who are flirting with me. There are plenty of other people who will give me the time of day because they're attracted to me. They instill that. They try to instill that in you. Okay. So if you've endured that during your relationship and you couldn't understand why, and you're like, but you did feel some kind of way at the time because, quite frankly, it's okay. I guess it's normal for a partner to, for lack of a better word, feel jealous. That is normal. But at the end of the day, it's to undermine your confidence. It's to make you feel less confident about yourself and make you feel like you want to, you got to go harder now. Now you got to do way more to keep that person because all these other people are trying to flirt with my man and trying to flirt with my girl, and I can't have that. Listen to me carefully. If they could take your man, if they could take your girl, they can fucking have them, because at the end of the day, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Especially, let me explain. Let me ask you guys something. If you had known what you would have endured, if you had known what you were going to go through, if it was 6 months along the line or even a year along the line, if you had known right then and there what you would have been dealing with 6 months later during the discard, would you have stayed? Of course not. If you were conscious, if you were clearly coherent, you wouldn't have stayed. You would not have stayed. If they would have came to you with that bullshit and said, oh, well, these girls are flirting with me. Well, these guys are flirting with me. They all want me. Well, let's go with the girls then. Let them have my headache. Let them have my problems, okay? Because I'm tired of this shit. But at that time, you weren't thinking like that because you didn't know. You didn't know what was going on. You're just thinking to yourself, I need to do better. I need to try better. I need to, I need to show this person that I can be all they want me to be. I can be who they want me to be. You need to be who you need to be for you. Okay? That's where that self-love comes in, okay? They knew that by doing that, they were going to pretty much try to deteriorate your confidence. Tearing you down builds them up, okay? Tearing you down builds them up. It builds up their ego. It makes them feel superior. It makes you feel inferior. It puts them in control. And that's something that, listen. And as we say, I'm Puerto Rican, and as we say, mándalo pa'l carajo, okay? That's just the way I see it. Do not let anyone try to tear you down, especially when you have done nothing, absolutely nothing to even warrant that. Even if that were the case, it's wrong. It's wrong. It says a lot about that person's character. Now, another way of triangulation is to spark confrontation, okay? And this is to get people to think, to perceive you as being unstable. Okay, so we'll use a family dynamic. In this case, let's say your mom is a narcissist, right? And she has her flying monkeys, which can be other relatives. These are other people who can be manipulated. She has people who are enablers who pretty much enable her and her behaviors because, they're just as easily manipulated. And of course, they can get the taste of her wrath if she really wanted to give it to them. What she will do is she will go to another family member. All right. Now we learned, if you guys saw my videos on the narky moms, you already know that female narcissists, what did I tell you guys? They run with the narratives of mommy dearest, maternal, nurturing, emotional. That's what they do. Okay. What she will do is to cause conflict and spark a confrontation. She'll go to another relative. She'll say something to that relative, okay? And you guys already know, once it goes from one mouth to one ear to the other ear to the other ear to the next ear to the other ear, what happens? The first thing she said got all twisted all the way around. But she'll go to that person and say something. Let's say she'll say something along the lines of, John is... I don't know. Let's see. John seems a little on edge, or John seems, like he's got mental issues, whatever the case may be. It could be anything, guys. And because she knows that clearly she can't say it to you directly because she has to get the word around. So everybody, the flying monkeys can go around talking all those kinds of stuff about John. When it finally gets to John's ears, John is pissed off. John is pissed off because it's like, what the hell are you talking about? What's going on? So now, because John is pissed off, John is reactive. John is what is he going to do? He's going to confront his mother, and he's going to be pissed off in the process. What are you talking about? How can you say, it can get volatile. It can get angry. But remember, when you're reactive, you're very emotional. And of course, if this happens in front of everyone, she's already planted that seed in everyone's mind that John is unstable. So everybody's already seeing John be reactive. And what are they doing? They're flowing with what the mother said. And she's not only creating an alliance within the family and her manipulation, but she's also got John pretty much cornered because now she has everybody's supporting her. Everybody's pretty much backing her up. That's another form of triangulation. It's when you utilize other people to instill fear, jealousy, to gain a response, to get confronted, but again, you're setting everything up. So the person is setting everything up with manipulation. And they're pretty much just putting up this whole show for everyone to see. So everyone can say, oh. So if you guys were going through the discard, what happened? When you were going through the discard, what were they doing? You had some people who probably went through the whole, which we've all been there, guys, where you've been in the addiction stage, where you were maybe looking at their social media, or you were, seeing what they were doing. And, because listen, you're not over it, and you're trying to get answers. You didn't get any clarity. So what are you doing? You're looking through their stuff. And as you're looking, you're noticing things are off, right? You start noticing things are really off. Like now all of a sudden, guys, if you dealt with a female narcissist, now all of a sudden she's the biggest social butterfly, and she's just talking to so many different dudes, and she's just pretty much putting up all kinds of pictures, and she's gaining so much attention from it. She's flirting, and of course it's innocent. She's flirting, she's doing whatever. Or ladies, he's got so many different girls on his friends list all of a sudden, and it's like, wait a minute. Like, where the hell did that come from? Oh, it was waiting to come. It was waiting to come. They needed that ego boost. When I said in my last post, okay, you were their fix. They needed that ego boost. You have boosted their ego. Though you were validating them. You, in your mind, you were validating them because that was genuinely what was coming from you, okay? You were giving them validation. But the reality of it was that it filtered through as boosting their ego, okay? You thought they were genuine. Therefore, you were validating them. They weren't genuine. They needed that ego boost because they walk around. I don't care how fine they are. I don't care how nice they dress. It's a pose. It's all for show. Deep down inside, they know looks aren't going to get them everywhere. They know that. Looks are not going to get them everywhere, okay? It's like a man coming to me and telling me, guys, I'm very, very blatant with my wording, so please do not take offense if I curse or if I got the mouth of a trucker, okay? But if a man comes to me and puts his penis on the table and says, this is what I have to offer you, I already got one in my nightstand. Show me something else. Show me something else. These people are so superficial and so hollow. And I don't care if they're intelligent. I don't care if they have degrees. I don't care if they make freaking crazy money. You can have all of that. But if you have no emotional sustainability, if you have no type of a way to emotionally connect, you're just a robot. You are simply like the Terminator, pretty much. You're a robot with skin. That's all you are. You have no emotions. You have no empathy. You have no sense of self-awareness. You have no sense of consideration. You put your own needs before everybody and expect everybody to put your needs ahead of theirs. And all you have to offer is this? I'm better off being alone. I'm better off being alone and buying packs of batteries. I mean, come on. Let's be realistic here. Guys, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Don't let a beautiful woman, an alluring woman, a woman who gets a lot of attention. A lot of them are the types that they're, they could be alluring. They could be very, very, you have to use your discernment. Definitely use your discernment because you have plenty of beautiful women, especially on here. You have plenty of beautiful women that are genuine, but you have to use your discernment. You really do. And don't let those guards down when you meet them. Do not let those guards down. A woman, guys, a woman knows, okay? A woman knows when a man is insecure, okay? A genuine woman with an insecure man would help him along the way, okay? If he doesn't feel good about himself, she's not going to tear him down, okay? If he feels like he's less of a man, she's not going to tear him down. She's going to try her best to show him, look, I want you to see what I see. But a woman who knows, a very deceptive woman who knows that a man is insecure, that a man is, trying to seek validation, will use that to her advantage. She will use that to her advantage. She'll take advantage of you. This is why I say female narcissists are a lot more dangerous because women mature faster. We do mature faster, especially when we experience so many different things. But at the end of the day, use your discernment. Definitely use your discernment. And I know a lot of you guys have dealt with females who are, they're pretty brutal. They're very brutal. They know how to hit you where it hurts. They really do. And I think it's because of the fact that men are portrayed to be, you gotta be the masculine type. You gotta be very, not macho, but you gotta be, I'm not taking no abuse from a woman. I'm not taking, because you have men who don't speak on their abuse for fear of being criticized, for fear of being judged. Okay? And there is nothing wrong with coming forward because you're helping other men. You're helping other men to discern these types of women. Okay? And not only that, but being aware, being self-aware, and knowing not to let what she did to you, what they did to you, not to let that turn you into an abuser or turn you into someone bitter or cold or just really mean, will allow you to be more receptive of a woman who actually genuinely cares about you. Because men who endure narcissistic abuse by females, men who've endured this type of relationship, tend to become very, very detached, avoidant, very cold, very bitter, and they can become abusive. They can become abusive in the sense of, especially unhealed men. Guys, I know what I'm talking about because I have been through it all. I have been through it all. And I've dealt with a man who could not let go of what happened. He could not let go of what happened between himself and that person of his past. And what he ended up doing was he ended up projecting onto me. He ended up projecting onto me his paranoia, his PTSD, his fears, his pain. He was clocking me, okay? He was clocking me. He wanted to make sure I was where I said I was. He wanted to make sure that he was clocking me, dude. He was seriously monitoring me. And when I got to certain places, I would tell him I'm at certain places. He did not believe me. He did not. And I'll tell you something, guys. Love you guys. Do love you guys. But you need to heal that trauma. You need to heal that trauma. You need to get through those motions, get through those emotions and release that, because it is so hard being a good woman. I'm a mom, guys. I'm a mom. I have a 14-year-old son, and I'm teaching my son how to be a good man for someone's daughter. Okay? Me being who I am, I'll be honest, I am so sick and tired of paying for a lot of other females' mistakes, or should I say choices, because that was what that was. It was their choices. You have to really learn to discern women. I'm not saying, pull your guard down all the way and just be completely vulnerable. Use your intuition. And if you can't use your intuition, if you cannot trust yourself to make the right choices, to make the right decisions, you should not be in a relationship. You should not be in a relationship, and you should not be trying to date or anything, because you need to really heal yourself. You have to go through the motions, okay? Healing is a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's not something that you can, 2 months. You've been with someone 10 years who narcissistically abused you. You think it's going to take 2 months to heal from that? No, it's not. It took me 2 years. It took me 2 years to heal. You have people that are going through it and they're still healing. They are still healing from it, because it's a lot, guys. It's a lot. And it makes you not want to trust people. And I really hope that, you guys, when you get through your emotions and, I'm sorry, let me just, I'm just talking and I see you guys. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. CK, you know what? It's not uncommon. It really is not uncommon. You see, Heel says triangulation occurred when he wanted to communicate. He sent his sister, his baby mother, and female friend. And that was not necessary. That was so unnecessary. But because my guess is the reason they probably did it that way was because they wanted to trigger you. They wanted to trigger you. Because at the end of the day, I don't know what the relationship is with, with those people that you may have had with them. But regardless of it, everything you had gone through, and you're going to send your sister, your mother, and your baby mother to talk to me? Man, listen, I got one for each, okay? My mother could take your mother, my sister could take your sister, and I'll take your baby mama. I don't got a problem with that. You're not about to have somebody try to triangulate these people with me. Nah, not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. By the way, guys, I don't endorse violence. I don't condone it, but I'm just saying that's my personality. That's just who I am. Yes, they are definitely energy leeches. And Kaya, keep doing it. Keep doing it, sweetheart, because you know something, when you show them that you don't feed into it. They simultaneously they get supply. That's how they get supply. When you react, whether it's negative, whether it's positive, when you react to these people, it fuels them. It fuels them. If you notice, I don't know if you guys have been through it, but if you notice, like, if you guys have an ex, or even let's just say your ex, you know, your children's mother or your children's father, because it's common with that too. And again, if they're not narcs, they could be just really narcissistic, but they like to poke the bear. They like to poke at you because they want to see how much they can push you. They want to continuously poke at you to see how far they can go, to see how far they can go, and how you would react. You know, how, okay, well, let me poke at her. Let me keep poking. Let me keep poking. And you're like, yo, chill. You're like, stop. Stop. Yo, I'm telling you right now, stop. And they keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going. They keep poking at you. Mind you, they're being very toxic in the nature. They're being very toxic with it. And what happens? You react. And then when you react, boom. Then it's your fault. Then it's your fault. It's all your fault. Okay? And I want you guys to understand something, because with this, I know victims have been pushed to believe that they're narcissists, because narcissistic people know how to flip the script. Okay? They know how to flip the script. When they are, don't fall for this shit either, guys. Please don't fall for it. But when they're doing things to intentionally hurt you to the naked eye, people can't see it. People can't see it, but they know you can see it. They know you can see it. They know that it's hurting you. You can see it. They know that they're giving you the silent treatment, and yet they have no respect for you. They have no respect or regard for you. And they're doing these, you know, these little things. Maybe some of them are doing big things, but they're trying to get a reaction out of you. That's not the same thing. Okay? Because if you're, you know, texting them, you're reaching out to them, and you're like, you know, you're emotional, you're confused, you're not understanding why things are happening, you're constantly contacting them, do not have them have you believing, well, you were poking me. That's bullshit. That is bullshit. Okay? I know a lot of victims have been convinced to believe, especially by a manipulator, guys, someone who knows how to manipulate, someone who had been gaslighting you and conditioning you to feel, you know, to feel like you deserve the abuse, that you deserve what it was that they were doing, the verbal abuse, the emotional abuse, the manipulation. They were conditioning you to believe that. So when they got angry, they got upset about things, and, you know, or better yet, let me give a better example. When you bring something to their attention, right? And let's just say you ask a question. You're not confronting them. You're not like jumping at their throat, but you're just talking to them. Listen, I saw this. Can you please explain this to me? What is this about? Who is this person? All of a sudden, everything flips around. Oh, now you're accusing me? What do you mean? Why are you stalking my stuff? Why are you going through my things? Wait, you don't trust me? That aggression, that aggressiveness, keep that in mind, guys. Keep that in mind. If you are talking to someone respectfully and you are asking them a question, you just want to know something, and they are becoming very aggressive towards you, they're just coming at you out of nowhere, and you're like, whoa, they're trying to back you up in a corner. So that way you'll end up apologizing for even asking them a question that you had every right to ask. Because if it were the other way around, they would have came at you. They would have came at you. Who's that person? Who's this person? Who is that you're talking to? Oh, they're don't fall for it. Yes, it does. Yes, it does, Heal. Absolutely. What Mimi says, what Mimi said, "Pa carajo se fue." That's just the way it is. That's the way it is. And they flip everything around on you. So now you have to pretty much, they're do as I say, not as I do. Okay? Their do is they'll point something out to you that makes them feel some kind of way. You need to change it. Because if God forbid you don't change it, they're gonna lord it over your head. They may not tell you directly. They may not, they may not come at you directly, but they may give it to you subtly. They may kind of, they may, what's the word for it? Oh my gosh. Subliminally throw things in there. They may just tell you, this made me feel some kind of way, but yet, okay. And what do? Because you don't want to fight. You don't want to argue. You respect them. Okay. You respect them and you're like, all right, listen, even though I'm not doing anything, everybody's different, guys, but that's how I am. Even though I'm not doing anything, I don't really see any need for you to feel some kind of way about this. Out of respect for you, I will change this. Okay. I will change this out of respect for you. And Erica goes and she changes it. But then what happens? She changes it, thinks everything is fine. That person goes and does it themselves. And you're like, what the? Now is this? Now it's this. When you were when you were bitching and moaning to me before, now you go and you do it. What the hell is this? And then what happens? When you bring it to their attention, well, I never asked you to do it because they never directly told you to do it, guys. They were subliminally giving you little hints, giving you little indirects that they didn't like it, but they didn't come to you and say, take that off, take that down. So when you go to them for doing exactly the same thing that they really didn't want you to do, well, I never asked you to change that. I never told you to change that. That's pretty much their alibi. And it's like, you're sitting there like, oh, yeah, no, they never asked me to change it. They never asked me to change it. You're right. He didn't ask me to change it. She didn't ask me to change it. I changed it. But you know something? What happens? What happens? They can continue doing it because though they were feeling some kind. And if you say something about it, then what's the big problem? Oh, you want to control me. You want to tell me what to do. You want to tell me how to live my life. You want to tell me this. You want to tell me that. I'm like, listen, I've gotten to the point where this reverse psychology bullshit, this whole gaslighting bullshit, this whole I'm gonna try to screw with your head bullshit. This is why, guys, I have not gotten into a relationship because I'm like, I am so energetically prepared and I am so like, my bullshit detector is so, you know what I'm saying? It's just so beyond it that it's like, yo, you're going to come at me. You need to come correct. Cause if you don't, I will have you walking away questioning if you're really a man. Like, do not try any kind of manipulation or any kind of bullshit on me. I think that's one of the reasons why I'm being gang stalked. Yes, I'm being gang stalked, guys. Although it doesn't really faze me any, but I think it's because I'm giving away a lot of stuff, a lot of good stuff, but it's something that you guys need to know. You guys need to know, apply it to wherever you need to apply it. And just always know that in days that you've ever felt alone, you're not. So many people have gone through it. So many people are going through it. And the more awareness we create, it's just going to create a whole new wave. It really is. It's either going to send these people running and hiding, or they're going to have to go to that mirror and come to terms with their bullshit and either change, or they're going to end up meeting someone that's way worse than them. Okay? That's way worse than them and is going to do way more harm on them. That, guys, can be their karma. Their karma can be a number of things. If you dealt with someone who's materialistic, a narcissist who's extremely materialistic, they may lose their finances. They can lose their jobs. They can lose, whatever their support was. They can, that counts as karma. That counts as karma. Okay? If they were cheaters, whether it be emotional cheaters, whether it be physical cheaters, and the perfect supply that they had, they're thinking, oh, okay, shit, this is nice. I'm gonna have my life made for me. It's gonna be like, and boom, what happens? They might walk in on their new supply, screwing their best friend. I'm just saying, it can happen. It can happen. These are different forms of karma, but they will not experience what you experience. They won't experience the pain you experience because they don't sustain. They don't have empathy. They're very selfish people, extremely selfish. And another thing I want to mention to you guys, narcissists are emotionally unavailable. However, emotionally unavailable people are not necessarily narcissists. So we got to keep that in mind. Okay? We have to keep that in mind. Another thing I wanted to mention was narcissistic rage. I don't know if any of you have experienced this. I can only hope to God that you haven't. Okay? But if you have experienced narcissistic rage, this is kind of like their trigger moment. Okay? This is a moment where they're extremely triggered. And they have, if you've ever experienced it, you'll notice everything changes. The energy, the atmosphere, it feels dark. It feels cold. It feels, it's you don't recognize the person. You don't recognize them at all. It just feels like, honestly, and this is my opinion, this is probably the closest you're going to get to the devil. Face to face. That's the closest you're going to get to him. Not that anybody wants to be that close to the devil, but that's probably the closest you're going to get to them. It's just so scary. And it's very, it's very demeaning. It's a very demeaning stage. It's where you do not, you don't recognize the person at all. Like how this person who's sitting in front of me, who told me they love me, who, would put their arms around me, would kiss me on my forehead, would, just hold my hands, or, whatever emotional, affectionate thing they did with you. This is not the same person. And that's because it's like they completely, it almost appears as if they completely black out. They completely black out. That is a point, guys. And I want to make it clear for anyone who's new, who has never dealt with, with narcissistic rage, who, can see, how you can see the signs. And if you start to see narcissistic rage, if you're dealing with someone, walk away. Just walk away. As fast as you can, get out of that. Okay? Because that is, if I had to guess, that is typically what sociopathic rage is for a sociopath when they're about to commit their crime, when they're about to commit their murder. So like you guys heard of Ted Bundy, right? Ted Bundy was a serial killer. He killed over 30 women. Okay? He was classified as a narcissistic sociopath. Okay? The narcissism was the charming part of him. That's where he gained people's trust. He had certain appeal to him. Women went, he was okay. He wasn't all that good looking, but women were like gaga over him. Everywhere he went, when he walked around, he was like the Christian Grey of what, the 70s at that time. But the sociopath part is, I would guess, when he went into sociopathic rage, when he actually murdered these women. That's where they get off. That's where they get off. When he murdered these women, the rage probably kicked in. If you're dealing with a narcissist or someone who's, let's make this clear. If you're dealing with someone who even suffers mental health issues, okay? Whether they're a narc, a sociopath, or a psychopath, if you notice certain demeanors are changing, okay? It's just getting eerily cold, eerily dark. You are noticing, you're even noticing certain parts of them are shifting. Like it just doesn't look normal. Okay. Or maybe, I don't know, if they have a vein that pops up and they're just eerily quiet, and they're just, their body language is pretty much like coming to a standstill, coming to a very still point. please, please, please get out of that situation as fast as you can. That is a point. That is a stage, okay, where it can get very violent. It can get very dangerous. That is a point where they don't care about you. They don't care about themselves. They don't care if they hurt you. They don't care if they hurt themselves. Okay? That is a very dangerous point. And that's something that you, and not especially for everybody who has children. If you have children, please think about them, okay? Especially if you are thinking about breaking no contact. You have to think about that. And as much as I would hate to constantly remind you because I don't want to trigger you, you have to think about that. You have to think about that point, because if you decide to go back to someone like that, if you decide to deal with someone who has mental health issues, and I'm not saying that these people need help. They need help, okay? These people try to use relationships as therapy. And that is just so fucked up, because they are hurting, they're damaging other people instead of just coming to terms with their issues and getting help, getting professional help. If you find yourself thinking about the person, thinking about, going back, or maybe it wasn't that bad, or, well, I can understand they were upset, they were angry because I'm sitting there crying and emotional and I couldn't, I could have maybe controlled my emotions. Fuck that. No, screw that. You were having your heart ripped out from your chest, okay? You were being told that you were worthless in so many words, or maybe directly, okay? You were being triangulated. You were being used. You were being lied to. You were being used as a step stool, okay? As a mat to be walked all over. You were being used for all of these things. And then to top it all off, they have some kind of freaking a psychotic episode. They have an episode because why? Because you're hurting, because you're crying, because they cannot deal with emotions. They do not understand emotions, which is why, ladies, if you were in the stage of crying and you were very emotional and you were hurting and you couldn't understand, you were very confused, and they're looking at you like, oh God, you're crying again. You're so sensitive. You're too overly emotional. Here we go again. They're looking at you like you're annoying. Like you are just like, oh God, do I have to sit here for this? No. A human being, someone who has a heart, does not do that. Especially when someone would come to terms and realize, I just hurt this person. And they're not understanding that you have natural empathy. You are being reactive in the most natural way possible. Someone who does not understand that is someone that you should not be with. Is someone that you should not even consider, especially if you have children. You should not even consider having that person around your children, because that person will teach your children how to be like that. They will project those traits, those habits, those issues, mental problems. They will project that onto your kids. How many people have we seen? How many people who've had relationships, these girls who've had relationships with these crazy ass dudes, leaving them home with their kids, going to work, coming home to find their kid murdered by their boyfriend. The kid wasn't even there. Oh man, I wish. Erica don't play that. Erica does not play that. I don't play that when it comes to my kid. But because these people are getting away with it, because the behaviors are being enabled, okay? Because they can charm. They can come back and say, I'm sorry. It'll never happen again. I'm sorry. Let me tell you guys something, okay? And this is for anybody who tries to tell me I don't know abuse. I know abuse, okay? I was with a sociopath. I was 17 years old. I was with a sociopath. And you don't realize how much you value life until you have someone's hands gripped around your neck, holding you up in the air, okay? Trying to kill you, trying to take the life out of your body, swinging you around, kicking you and beating you. I have been there. I have been hit. I've been sexually abused. I have been abused by so many different people, guys. And I'm telling you, if you love your children, especially your kids, you will not subject them to that. You won't subject them to that. Okay? You will not let these people into your life to ruin it, to ruin your kids, especially if you work so hard to provide for your children, to give them unconditional love. You will not project them to that. This is why I do this, guys. This right here is why I do this, because I know that pain. I know the pain. I know feeling alone, when people don't understand you, when people tell you get over it, when they're like, you know what? It is what it is. I just triggered myself, guys, but you know what? I don't care, because this is a side of me that you get to see. It's not something you want to subject your kids to. You want to protect them, and you deserve love. You deserve all of that. Protection, love, honesty, transparency. You deserve all of it, okay? Don't let other people make you feel like you're not good enough just because they don't feel good about themselves, because they don't care about themselves. All right, they want to go back to their ex, let them go back to their ex. They want to go and mess with somebody else, let them go. God just did you the favor. He got these people out of your life, and you know what? Your life was spared. Your life was spared. And that's a blessing right there. That is a blessing. These people just showed you who you are. Don't ever forget. You sit there, look in your mirror and say, you know what? I know who the fuck I am. I know who I am. I know what I deserve. And I know that at the end of the day, I'm going to continue being the person that I am, because that piece of shit didn't deserve me. They didn't deserve me. And whatever they get coming to them, never wish bad on them. But whatever they have coming to them, God will see to it. Let it go. Put it in the hands of God, and he'll take care of them. One way or another, he will take care of them. And at the end of the day, because you decided to do your own thing, you decided not to seek revenge, you decided to say, you know something, I'm going to forgive, and I'm just going to move on. I'm going to live my life. You planted those seeds, guys. The only reason your harvest didn't come through was because that piece of shit was in your life. That's why. Once you got rid of them, everything starts to flow through for you. Your blessings, everything will flow through for you. And God is going to bless you with the person that he created for you, because he sees you're ready. You learn from this. You learn from this. Your confidence is on 1,000. You're good. You are good. And you're going to find the man, you're going to find the woman that's going to love you, that's going to equally love your children, that's going to just grow old with you and just appreciate you for who you are. That's what this is about. That's why I do this, because I don't want to see. I could never wish this kind of pain on anyone. I know the pain. I know the pain. And I would never wish that on anyone. Just keep that in mind, guys. I know I got so emotional right now. I'm so sorry. I can't help myself, because it's just, you know, I know what it feels like. And I have shared things with people, you know, and even though, you know, we don't know each other personally, and I share things with you guys, I'm going to tell you, man, it's just a blessing. It's a blessing, because somebody needed to hear it, you know. Even if I save a life tonight, hey, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I'm so tired of watching on the news, hearing about these people being killed. That girl who got killed by her boyfriend. And what happened? Two young people, two young adults who could have just went their separate ways, end up dead. What, you know, like, come on. I'm just so tired of it. I'm tired of hearing about domestic violence, victims being invalidated, victims being, oh, look that, like you're unstable. Oh, because you're too emotional. You're too emotional. No, you know something? Maybe if the world had more emotional people, we wouldn't be dealing with all these psychopaths and these narcissists and all these sociopaths. We wouldn't be dealing with any of that. We'd be able to go outside into the world feeling safe, feeling okay, that, you know what? We're good. It's the lack of overly emotional people. That's the problem. That's the problem. And now being detached is the new thing. Being detached is the cool thing. Being an asshole, being a bitch, that's the new, it's the new it thing. No, it's not. Guys, being vulnerable is manly, okay? Take it from me. It's manly. It shows a real woman what kind of a real man you are if you can be vulnerable, if you can express your emotions, if you can communicate, verbally communicate, emotionally communicate, connect, talk to one another. There's nothing wrong with being emotional. There's nothing wrong with being vulnerable. And any female who sits there and tells you, oh, you're a little bitch, is one who has daddy issues because her daddy left her. Her daddy did some shit and decided that, you know what, she's going to take out what she feels on her, whatever she feels about her parents, period. She's going to take that out on you. Okay? Or if any man tells you, well, shoot, that's for girls, having emotions is for females, and no. That whole macho, oh, I'm a macho man and I don't need to be vulnerable, I don't need to be emotional, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, it's a complete turnoff. It really is a turnoff, okay? It does not turn us on. It does not make us want you more. And if you think that that's because that's toxic masculinity, I'm going to tell you that right now. Being all macho and just, not communicating, not, just trying to hold up this facade, that is toxic masculinity. The idea of being emotionally detached, emotionally unavailable. Listen, if you want to do that, stay single. Stay single. Date around. Do what you do. Stay single. Don't get into no relationships. Because a real woman does not find that attractive at all, especially if you're dealing with a woman who has children, because she wants to be that example for her kids. And she can't do that being with someone who thinks that this is cute. It's not cute. It is not cute. And any female who is attracted to that is just as toxic. Okay? It's just not worth it. Show emotions, be vulnerable, communicate, talk, love one another. I've seen plenty of men with beautiful women who talk, they communicate, they show emotions. They have no pride. They don't let their ego do the talking for them. They don't let their ego do the, run the relationship. They provide, they are equal. They look at their mate as their equal. That is a beautiful thing. That is the beautiful thing. Oh my gosh, guys. I don't mean to get preachy. I'm like just so it gets me. It gets me. It really, really gets me. And I tell you guys, I am truly I'm just truly appreciative that you guys can be here. And I'm just so appreciative for the love and support that you guys give. And as long as I can keep doing it for you, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I've had people who are naysayers and people who sit there like, oh, this whole thing is everybody's now pointing towards narcissism and now everybody's just now talking about it. Okay. Everybody's now talking about it. More people are coming forward about it. Okay. Narcissistic Abuse Awareness Day is June 1st. Okay. Keep that in your calendar, guys. June 1st is Narcissistic Abuse Awareness Day. October is Domestic Violence Abuse Awareness Month. Okay? Keep that in your calendar too. Don't let other people invalidate you. Don't let other people, you've already had people invalidating you throughout your life and in your relationships. Don't let anyone tell you, oh, here we go again. Now you want to talk. No, because even if it wasn't narcissistic abuse, abuse is abuse. Okay? And you have a voice. You have every right. You have every right to talk about it. You have every right to be about it. And you have every right to say, something, I was abused and I will not tolerate this. I will not deal with this anymore. Okay? You're a survivor, guys. You guys are survivors. You're not victims anymore. You are not victims anymore. And even if there are people who are joining, who are just now victims, who have come out of a relationship, you will survive. You will get through it. You stick with us, you'll get through it. I can promise you that. Okay? It just takes a good support system. That's all it takes. A good support system, because people who go through this abuse, they need to talk about it. Whether it be days, months, or years, they need to talk to people who understand. That's what helps them get through it. But if you're dealing with people who are just going to sit there and say, well, it's already been 3 months. Like, are you going to get over it? That's not going to help you. That's not support. That is, I don't understand what it is you're dealing with, and I'm trying not to be an asshole of a friend, but I really don't know what else to say about it. You need people who have been in the same boat as you, okay? Who have gone through the same thing as you. It's kind of like an AA meeting. It's like an AA meeting, you know? And as time goes on, you get your chips. You get your chips, okay? You turn from victim to survivor to shit. I'm the damn shit. You know what I'm saying? That's what you get to have a little bit of ego now. You get to go and enjoy that ego. And as long as you aren't hurting anybody, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. All right, guys? I know there was some more things I wanted to talk about, but we'll definitely, I'm just like so, oh man, emotional. My eyelashes are starting to come up too. There was so much more I wanted to talk about, but we'll definitely talk more. We'll get into it, and we will definitely, I'm going to do another live with you guys, and I hope you guys will be here. If you guys want to, on Friday, I will be doing a live on my YouTube channel. The link is on my bio. If you want to join me over there, please, by all means, join me over there on Friday. We have a lot of people who come to the community, and they're survivors just like you. Awesome people. They're survivors just like you, you know, and we just talk. We shoot the shit. We talk just like how we're doing here. We do it over there. And, you know, we get different people asking questions, and you know, I try to help as many people as I can, because I don't want to see anybody else go through this. I really don't. I really, truly don't. But you guys can definitely catch me over there too. If you have questions, you can shoot me a message. My email information and everything is on my YouTube channel. So you can go to any one of the videos. You can catch my email there. My Instagram is on there. You know, if you want to shoot me a message on here, you know, I'll try my best to get back as soon as possible. Any questions that you guys have, okay? Anything that you have, there are no personal questions. Whatever you have, you know, even if you want to know based on my experience, you know, I'll be more than glad to share with you. I am not ashamed. I'm perfectly, you know, sometimes when you think beyond with certain trauma, it does get to you. But at the end of the day, someone needed to hear it. Someone did. And as long as I got through to whoever needed to hear it, that's what's important to me. I'm not ashamed of what I've gone through. I'm not ashamed of the fact that I was discarded. I'm not ashamed of the fact that, you know, I went through depression. I contemplated suicide. I'm not ashamed of any of those things, because I'm here now. I'm here now, and I'm stronger. I'm stronger than ever, because God is good. So it's a testimony. This is all a testimony. But guys, I thank you all so very much for being here tonight. I am just so, you guys don't know, it just really touches my heart. And knowing that so many people are here, you know, thank you, Carl. Thank you, sweetheart. But just knowing that you guys are here, and you know, we're not judging. We're talking and we're supporting. That's what matters. That's what counts. So I'm going to continue with the videos. I'm going to continue doing what I got to do. And if you guys, like I said, have any questions, I'm here for you guys. I am always going to be here for you guys. Okay. I may be far away, but I'm always going to be here for you guys. So I thank you so very, very much for being here. I'm sorry, guys, if I didn't get to answer any questions. If you guys posted up questions, if you want to ask me, just shoot me a message, shoot me a personal message, and I'll be more than glad to answer any questions that you guys may have posted up. Okay. I love getting involved. So I'm happy. This is happiness right here. All right, guys, but I'm going to call it a night. Thank you again so much for being here. Much love to you all. And remember, you are worth way more than what you ever thought. Don't ever deny yourself. Don't ever undermine your own confidence. Okay. Trust your intuition, trust your judgment. And if you can't trust it, that just means you're not ready. You're just not ready yet. And that's perfectly fine. Continue healing. Healing is an important part of the process. Okay. I'm going to try my best to, I'm going to see if I can make this a weekly thing for you guys. So you guys I can see you guys as well during the weeks. So we'll try to set a set date, but I will be back here next week. But in the meantime, guys, have a great night. Okay. Have a wonderful weekend. And if you need me, you guys know where to find me. All right. Love you all. Good night.